Good evening. Grab a seat, grab a drink. Welcome. This is Horace T. Hey, tonight you're joined by the best podcast in the world. It is known as the Black Super Friends Podcast. And tonight we have an invasion, an estrogen invasion. We have some very educated ladies that we have known to share the spotlight with. They are from the Chambers Talk Show. And introducing them in first, I will go up top to Dr. Tamikio Manning.
Hey, good evening. Good evening, everybody.
All right.
I'm
Second, I'm going back to the avid reader, Dr. April Givens.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, I've seen a lot of books in the background, so I had to go with that. All right. Last but not least, I'm going to my brother Super Mario Sr. with the fashionable apparel tonight.
What's going on, man? Just try to. I told myself I was gonna start supporting black colleges. So when I need T-shirts, I'm gonna just start buying all the black HBCUs I can. So we're gonna start with Morehouse.
Yeah, I'm gonna start wearing something from my alma mater, Hillman. Hey, next, I'm going up top to my main man, who you know from all his escapades. That's an escapade.
Yeah.
It might have been.
All right, it just sounded a word. All right, tonight you will call him International Chris, who just arrived via jet.
Yes. I just got back from Costa Rica. Man, y'all gotta go. Fellas, we getting cheated in the States, fellas. They treat us so much better over there. Fellas, don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. You got to go to Costa Rica. I'm telling you. Wonderful trip. Tell all the ladies that goodbye. Later. See you later.
All right, hey, first off top, while I'm waiting on these documents to sign, Chris, I'm gonna give you trending news tonight because I think you're gonna say something that I like tonight.
Oh man, trending news. It feels good to be a Floridian. I swear it does. Say what you want about our governor, and people say a lot of bad things about Ron DeSantis, but he recently made two bills that I am a complete support of. I actually think that this will be, and I want to give a prediction, but I believe that this is going to be the next president. If Trump doesn't run, I think this is going to be the next president. And I'm starting to feel as though I don't know if this is a bad idea. First, he had an initiative of having teaching financial literacy in high school for kids, and I thought that was amazing. I think that's an amazing idea, especially if it's going to help us as Black folks to learn financial literacy early, learn about taxes, learn about credit, learn about balancing bank accounts and things like that. I think it gives us an amazing start because we didn't know. We never know. But the one I want to talk about tonight is, well, let me see the name of it. 1 second. The Responsible Fatherhood Initiative. This initiative is a bill it gives $70 million of funding going to mentorships, programs, foster and adoption support. 32.6 million will go towards funding assist fathers with issues such as finding employment, managing child support obligations, and the transition period from incarceration. It's also evidence-based parenting education for fathers, and it goes into effect July 1st. The only gripe, and I hate to be picky, but the only gripe about this is evidence-based. It almost seems as though we have to prove that we're being fathers before we get this type of funding. And I don't know if it's the same thing for women that they have to prove that they're involved in the child's life. But I think that this is an amazing bill, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it. Especially, I'm glad that we have women on there. But I think this is an amazing bill, and I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on it. What do you think, Horace? You the political guy of the group. What do you think?
I'm the Republican, and Ron is my guy. And
But this is bipartisan, though. This was bipartisan.
Can I tell you a secret about politics? Nothing gets passed without being bipartisan. You got to get it on. It takes somebody on my side to go over there and say, "Hey, I need your votes on this and I'll pass yours later. But I think he's doing some stuff that I just love, simple stuff. The don't say gay thing. It got so much media coverage and people were outraged. And then I was like, did you read the bill? Did you understand what he was saying? All he was saying is from kindergarten to third grade, he don't want kids to be told about transgender sexuality, all that stuff. Like, let them be kids to third grade. I want to extend it, but those are my thoughts. But Dr. April says that they already have that in Texas, which is hard to believe, but
What you mean it's hard to believe? No, we do actually have it in Texas. We already teach the kids financial literacy, how to balance checkbooks. All of that is taught in elementary school. When my son was in second grade, he was balancing a book and learned how to write checks. So we do that. Also, with the Fatherhood Initiative, hey, y'all have the right person on tonight because that was what my dissertation was on for my PhD. So what evidence-based mean, it's not that they have to prove it. It's just that it's an evidence-based curriculum that they use with the men. So how the Fatherhood Initiative works, Obama passed it when he was in office, millions of dollars grants to different states that to take advantage of this program for men to learn how to be responsible fathers. So what it is an initiative for them to, when they get out of prison or if they're in halfway houses or whatever. Now, some programs are mandated, like in Texas, they're mandated. When I did my dissertation, I did it with residents in St. Louis. So it wasn't mandated. It's a volunteer program. So what they do in St. Louis is they provide these men stipends. So they're actually taking some of that grant money and they're putting it back into the men's pockets. So it gives them an incentive to be able to come to the program. They go to classes weekly, monthly. They help them pay past child support. They help them be able to get into their own apartments. That's what they use the funding for. But these men also undergo classes to where they're learning how to be responsible men. They're learning etiquette. They're learning how to be gentlemen. They're learning how to run their household. They're learning how to be leaders. They're learning how to be the dads in their children's lives. So it's an amazing program. And I had an opportunity to interview a lot of the men who were participating in the program.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. We got to talk more about that, but that's truly amazing. What you think, Mario?
I think that I have to believe Dr. April just because I see that Florida and Texas seem to be copying each other on a lot of stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It seems like that's a Republican too. That's following his fellow Republican brother and trying to push forth a lot of initiatives. I like that. I'm happy that you shed light on that because I didn't know that either. Like Chris, those other states were doing such a thing, being from Florida. I think it's very gonna happen. I'm happy about it.
How do you prove, like, it's the evidence-based part? How do you prove that you are a supportive father or you are active father? How do you prove
Well, no, but that's not what evidence-based means. Evidence-based just means that it's an evidence-based curriculum that they're used, meaning that it's research, it's literature. So things that we use when we're teaching people, like when they go through counseling classes or whatever, we use an evidence-based approach. So like CBT therapy is evidence-based. That's something I would use with someone that I'm counseling. So solution-focused therapy, all of these different theories are evidence-based techniques. So that's what they use. They have a curriculum where they use these evidence-based tools to be able to support and document how they're helping these men.
That's amazing. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you came on tonight too, because we would have still been in the dark, thinking that we got to check in and our baby mama got to come vouch for us that we being good baby daddies. So good. Thank you for coming on tonight,
Dr. Tamika. What's your thoughts?
Well, I just kind of want to piggyback off of what Dr. April said. She said, of course, this has already been happening in Texas, but I will say that I would like to see it more in the inner city schools. I'm in Dallas, so a lot of our students don't have the same opportunities, although it is provided in some areas. But I don't see some of the same services. So that just caught my attention when she said that, yes, it is available here, but I would like to see it move to Dallas. Like, I mean, I've served in elementary, middle, high schools, because I'm an educator. And a lot of our students aren't getting some of those same things. Where Dr. April is, I think there are more opportunities. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that I think that's awesome that her son has that opportunity. And then I was going to piggyback off of what you said earlier about the mentors. I also would like to see that. I always think education. So when we start talking about men and fathers and mentors, a lot of our students do not have active fathers. Some of them do, but a lot of them do not have active fathers in their lives. So I think the program is phenomenal.
How hard is it to get in it?
It's not hard at all. Well, in Texas, it's more mandated. So it's not like voluntary. In a lot of other states, it's voluntary. Like I said, they offer an incentive for men to participate in it. So you just kind of sign up and you go to it. But in Texas, for the most part, you either have to be on probation, have like a CPS court case, and they mandate the men to go to the program.
Well, how much is the stipend? Does it vary?
Well, it varies. It all depends on the state and on the actual program, because it's different organizations that take part in the program. So it depends on what they want to give the men.
What about already active fathers?
Well, I mean, you can still go because it's a voluntary program, independent on your state. So if you're active, it's still a great resource to be able to go just to learn. Because a lot of men grew up in that program is tailored for men who have grown up without fathers in the home. So a lot of men have not had their fathers. They're raised by single mothers. And so that program really helps just teach the men, because it's mentored by men. Men are actually teaching the program.
You mean to tell me men is going to tell other men how to be men, and we don't need the help of women to tell us? This is amazing. Who ever thought of that?
All right, I'm back. See my taxes. Look at God, Jesus. All right. Okay, guys, let me put on my host hat and produce this show. We have some women on today, and I want to say that you guys have been pretty fair on certain subjects, and I do think that you guys don't have a lot of bias, despite estrogen, the difference in estrogen and whatnot. But listen, we want to be juicy at the same time. We want to get y'all insight on this whole Will and Jada thing, because we ain't talked to y'all about it, and we did a whole show on it. Because it's simple over here. You slap a man, bro. Listen, and that was protecting his wife. What was y'all thought? I'm gonna go to Dr. Manning first. Dr. Manning, what are your thoughts? Because I just feel like it's a part of you in there that just want to say something.
So I think Will went a little bit too far. However, I do like the fact that he jumped to his wife's defense when he realized that she was not happy with the comment. I just feel that way. Because of it, I'm no longer a Chris Rock fan. Because I am no longer a Chris Rock fan. Because I feel like you should never, I don't care if it is a joke, because of her situation. Had it not been a medical situation, it would be different. But you, with the handful of African Americans or blacks that you have in the room, why Jada Pinkett Smith? Why did you choose her for the joke? I felt the pain, and I was really upset. I was really angry. I understand from the comedian standpoint that, this is what comedians do, but it was the magnitude of it. I heard her on the red table talk about screaming in the shower from losing her hair. So I'm looking at it from a whole different perspective. She was in pain. And so if you think about a woman's hair, it's our crown. It governs so much about us. She lost all of her hair. Now in a room in front of the country, you poke fun at it, and I was hurt by it. No, Will should not have slapped this man. No. Should he have come to her defense to do something? Yes.
Like.
Hold on, Horace. Let me jump in before you.
I will come to you first. That way,
we have a difference of opinion, because I watched this live. Dr. Tamika didn't watch this. I texted her when it was happening. because I was shocked. I watched the whole thing live. So, okay, I don't watch Red Table Talk, so I don't know about Jada's condition, but I did see an episode recently that they pulled up to show when Tiffany Haddish surprised her and came on the show. She said nothing about alopecia. So this was a year ago. So the jury is still out. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon of Jada having alopecia. Do we have a doctor that have confirmed, or have Jada literally came out and said alopecia? Because from what my understanding is, alopecia don't develop later on in life. Now, clumps of hair falling out in the shower could be a sign of COVID side effect as well. A lot of people have COVID. A side effect of COVID, a lot of people can vouch for, is losing some of your hair. So the jury is still out on the alopecia thing. I know a lot of people may be upset, but that's just me. I go by fact and research. I don't go on the bandwagon of what other people say. So when I'm watching this live and looking at this, I was pissed. I was pissed at Will, number one, because Jada rolled her eyes. This was Will's night. This was Will's huge night for him to win this Oscar. He could have just sat in his seat. He could have waited till a commercial break. He could have waited till an after party and said anything. I'm not saying don't defend her, but there's a time and a place. He did not have to walk on stage and put his hand on that man. And nobody, no security. I was in shock sitting there like, where's security? Security is not going to get up and do nothing. This man is on stage having to go on and present this show. The only thing he said was, love you, Jada. See you in G.I. Jane 2. That was it. Nobody knew what that meant. Everybody jumped on the conclusion of, okay, he's talking about her hair. Jada has always been beautiful. She's rocking the bald head. She had on a green dress. She looks stunning. So instead of making that something of praise, standing up and like, hey, I can be G.I. Jane 2 or whatever, turning it into a positive, this whole situation went left and turned into something negative.
I'm gonna go to Mario before I go to the closer because I see it in his eyes. But thank you, Dr. April, because the alopecia was self-diagnosed, and second of all, just add the writers wrote those jokes, so he may have had the discretion to say I shouldn't use the joke or whatever, but a writer actually wrote that joke. So Super Mario, before I go to the closer.
I just want to know this. Before I go, we done talked about this. So I ain't gonna be the dead horse. But so if so right now what he said, he didn't call out her name. He didn't speak direct, like he didn't say nothing like just like off the edge to her. He said a joke. Okay, it might have been distasteful if you don't like it. But I'm saying,
oh no,
he wasn't derogatory. Yeah. Wasn't derogatory directly to Jada. So let's just say he knows nothing about this alopecia. And he's a comedian. So as a comedian, just like most rappers, you think in your head quick. So you see stuff, you're sitting right in the front row. I see you. You have a bald head, like Dr. April said, you got in the green dress. I say something about your next movie going to be G.I. Jane. Your husband laughs. He laughs. He head back in there, laughs. He looks at you. You look at him like, nigga, is you laughing? Then he does this. And see, that's the problem I got right there. Because everybody gonna make all these excuses. I'm going off facts. That's what happened. See, people gonna say, oh, well, he might have did this and he might have did that. I don't know if he was nervously laughing. I don't know all that. I know I seen him laugh so much that he clapped, his head went back. She looked, rolled her eyes at him, and then he approached the stage. That's that. See, a lot of times, I'm going to say this. People always say men need to control their anger. Black men need to do this. And we don't have no self-control. And we don't do this. And then here we go again. A black man stepping up on stage, no self-control, slapping another black man with a black. It's just like nobody wins here. And I just want to know, like, at the end of the day, if Chris Rock can't say, Jada, you have a bald head, could he say, no, listen, follow me. Lizzo, you fat? Could he say, what's the dude from Blackish? You fat? You bald headed. Bernie Mac, you got big eyes. So what can a comedian say then? Because everybody got insecurities. Everybody feels hurt. Everybody's got something about themselves they don't like. Everybody got something about themselves they wish they can change, whether it's diagnosed or not. Some people have. I don't know that every time I go to a comedy show, the person who's on the stage is not saying, "I wonder if this person got a thyroid problem." So I better not say they fat because they might just have a thyroid problem, and God forbid I talk about their medical condition and I don't know about it. Like God forbid I talk about their thyroid problem and I don't know about it. Like so, what do a comedian do then? He can only so if you're not that kind of comedian, then what do I do? And Chris Rock is that kind of comedian where he make those borderline jokes all his career. All his career, his jokes be like, Chris. So I just want to know when after Chris go, what could he have said joking at Jada that could have been tasteful that make her not, or how could he have judged her not being offended or not? Because I've seen Jada own that bald head. I don't care what nobody say about my bald head. I'm wearing my bald head, and I love my bald head. I seen that. I didn't watch the Red Table Talk, but I've seen that clip on and on and on about how she's wearing it proudly. And she look beautiful still. So I just want to know about that. Go ahead, Chris.
Again, I like that you brought that up because I was gonna bring up. I haven't heard a take on this that I don't agree with. However you call it, like even when we brought it that day, I have a different way of thinking about it because I have a daughter and I've seen the effect of her hair and how it affects her mood. But again, I don't have you pro Chris, if you pro Will, I can't disagree. I don't disagree with you. But like Demario just said, I did see that video. This came after the slap. I did see that video where she said, "I don't care. I don't care, and I love it." If you feel that way, then a joke from whoever, whenever, however, wherever shouldn't have affected you that much. And the last thing I'm going to do is cancel either one of these guys. I disagree with both with what both of them did, but I'll be damned if I cancel one of these black men for it. I said every time it's brought up, I'm gonna bring up January 6th, and if that is so egregious, if they're equally egregious, then they should be equally forgotten because we have forgotten about January 6th. So no, and that just for those that don't know, January 6th is when a bunch of crackers went into the Capitol and tried to overthrow the government. I'm saltines. I'm sorry, Horace.
That's our saltine endorsement. So we won't get no cracker brand and the crackers. Okay, you fucked it up, Chris. Okay, listen. So, ladies, we had an argument last week on the show, and this was where we were. Justice Jackson, as we will now address her. Last week, I had a issue with this, saying as much as I congratulate her on her achievement, I feel that this whole black girl magic and female empowerment sometimes goes unchecked, where it's just it don't matter. She a black woman. Push. We supporting her. And on the show, we argued about like because I got flack for saying like I had some issues with um, some of her rulings and some of her stances when it came to minorities. And you had people that say it don't matter, she black, and they pushed it through, and it almost came like I was a woman hater. And I was like, no, I get it, and I'm appreciative, but I also seen the agenda where they pushed the white husband as the savior, and then the article came out about why more black women should date marry white men. But to sum it all up, we wanted to see what y'all thought as black women, as educated professional black women. What was y'all? How did y'all feel about that whole story with Justice Jackson before her confirmation and her achievement? Dr. Aikman.
The thing about it is, and I'm usually on it when it comes to watching this stuff. I did not. I didn't follow her. I didn't watch her. I didn't know about her until she was nominated. So I can't really comment on her cases. I salute her and I was, rooting for her that they went on and actually, confirmed her and everything. And congratulations to her. But I don't know enough about her to even comment, other than, yes, she is married to a white man. Kamala Harris is married to a white man. The other Justice Thomas is married to a white woman. So I don't know if there is some parallel there with, everybody having the white spouses. Maybe you can shine some light on your thoughts on that, but I don't have any other thing to say in regards to her because I don't know.
Dr. Manning.
Okay, so I actually did watch quite a bit of it. I watched the news in the mornings, and I kind of heard a little bit of her background, and of course, some of them thinking that she was not as tough on crime as they would have liked her to be. However, I am going to flip back to the notion that I did see an educated African American woman. I didn't weigh in on the fact that she is married to a Caucasian man. I didn't really hone in on any of that. I really didn't pay a lot of that any attention, although, of course, a lot of people talked about the fact, of course, that Dr. April mentioned them all having, white spouses. But I just looked at it as this being the first African American woman on the Supreme Court. So I was in myself just proud of that. Maybe I should have honed in more on the background itself, but that was what I looked at because, the history in the making, and then the fact that she stood her ground. She seemed to be pretty tough to me. And so I just must say that I was proud of it, although there's some other stuff in the background that people talked about. So
Chris.
that's my take on it.
Again, I give my support. If I was going into a bank trying to get a loan and I had to pick between her and all the other justices, that would be the one I picked. If I was in school and had to pick a counselor, that's the one I would pick. I'm more familiar, I'm more comfortable with people that look like me. I think that with her, she's going to judge. She should judge in a way that is different from what will be unique to from what everybody else does or the way of thinking. And I think if anybody has our as far as being black, I think that she has our best interest in mind. I don't have enough evidence to say that she doesn't, but I think that I hope that she will. I don't trust no one else to do it. Like I don't trust anybody else on that in the as justices to do it. So I'm going to put blind faith into her. And again, it's 2022, and we're still having to say the first black something, and that's the problem. That is a problem when it's 2022 years, and we're still saying the first black this or the first black that, and I think it's something to feel proud of. I don't see why we wouldn't feel proud of it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I just want to say before I go to Mario, we still mad at you for this whole election.
I know,
You really listen. I don't know what happened to Chris, but Chris has been he's been getting tender. And I just want to say, she black. Just let her right in. But that's another day. Super Mario Senior.
I got a question for the ladies. Like, I feel like y'all earned everything that y'all got in life. So right now, for somebody to say Dr. Manning and Dr. Given got this whatever they got, a STEAM award, I would hope you would want for it to be looked at on the merit and stuff
Definitely.
that you achieve. Right? So right now, I think I said this to Chris, and I want y'all to tell me y'all take, and I want y'all to be totally honest. I think it's dangerous. I got a little girl, but I don't want my little girl to go out and then be naive to say, hey, that's a black woman. Just go follow her because she black. Hey, that's a black woman. She got to be right. Hey, that's a black woman. That's the best choice. I think that's dangerous because what happened is if the other people who are against you know that that's your way of thinking, then all they have to do is get a person with a black face, prop them up, and push all their agendas in, and then we'll blindly just vote for everything this black woman says because it's a black woman. I think that she should be held to the same criteria that everybody else. I'm sick or tired of it. I agree with Chris. This shouldn't be our first black woman. We have had a lot of women that came through this pipeline who has been credible and should have been a judge. This is ridiculous. But I'm just not that mad that I could say, just give me any black woman. I'm not saying like y'all saying, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it. She might do. She might be over deserving. I'm just saying the rhetoric of it, because she is a black woman, let's just do it. but that can get us in some dangerous places. Because I done worked in the workforce a lot, and I done had some people who worked for me who definitely didn't have my best interests in hand, and they were black, definitely. So I know from firsthand experience, I'm never gonna tell that to my little daughter. I understand representation, but I'm just saying, like right now, I think that if we really looked at how much this affects us, it'll take more for us to be happy when we just see somebody our skin color, because it's people whose lives gonna fall in her life, in her hands, because she a black woman. You get somebody up there, because this is what I feel. This is my words, not only. I feel like the best thing you can do for the black culture, to me, is marry a black woman as a black man. That's what I feel. I feel like culture comes from family. So right now, we don't know if her culture is black. She might have grew up in the good part of town with good people. I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Well, in the other side of town, raised by other people. She don't have no tie to people. So when Chris walk into the courtroom, she don't feel Chris. She don't see herself in Chris. She don't know a Chris. She only know Ricky, Timothy, and John. But because Chris looks at her, he gonna say, "I want that to be my judge," and that's the judge gonna give his ass 100 years. So I think that's dangerous right there to have that kind of looking. So what do y'all think about that?
I mean, I agree. I agree that it should be based on merit, like you said. You know, I don't know what her previous cases were and how she knew, so I can't speak to that. But definitely, just because people are your skin color, you're right, don't mean that they have your best interests at heart all the time.
I want to bring something to y'all attention. The Supreme Court has been, I don't know when it has not been in Republican control, which meaning it's very conservative, right? So now with Justice Jackson, that's going to be a liberal more appointment. So even though Republicans got one vote where they'll still control the danger, I can't say dangerous because I'm conservative, but right now they're putting pressure on Justice Thomas, who's, listen, be honest, a black guy married a white woman. He let you know he'll let you know he might be Uncle Ruckus. He ain't with one of us, right? But they're trying to get him to resign now because his wife was involved in the January 6th insurrection or whatever you call it, right? So, which is crazy because if they get him to resign or he died, and while a Democrat president is office, you now have another liberal justice in, and for the first time, you'll have a liberal based Supreme Court, which will be more in favor of LGBT policies and it's a lot of liberal stuff. So that's why conservatives, that's really what they battled against. But that's just an FYI for the people out there. Dr. Manning, we're not skipping you.
I just kind of wanted to go back to what Super Mario was saying. I think as a black woman, we have to work harder no matter what. I don't care what, I don't care how you look at it. Whenever we go into jobs, we just have to perform. I worked in television. All of my counterparts were white. And so I spent a little bit more time working behind the scenes, working on myself, working on becoming a better reporter, becoming a better anchor. And I think I pretty much I did well. But at the same time, I remember feeling, I don't know how to explain it, but I do know that I stayed later most of the time and got there earlier most of the time. So I understand about the merit piece, but I also understand that African American women, we get it from all angles, you know. So I mean that could be another whole show when you start talking about that. But I just kind of wanted to throw that in, um, piggybacking off Mario.
So that's
Okay,
gonna
let
be
me
good
answer
show.
that, Chris. Let me
That's gonna be good show.
I want to make sure you understand this. What I'm saying is, I don't care if she didn't deserve it, if she for us. My whole point is, I don't think it's so much of deserving it is it is for me of check her credibility before you lift somebody up. Like make sure that her skin is attached to the culture before you just say, "Oh, that's our savior." Because I think that a lot of times, as soon as they walk through the door and they look like you or Dr. Givens, then automatically it's, yeah,
Been a bad night
that's
for
our
y'all.
sister. I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay if they said, well, somebody worked hard and I'm good. Like you said, a lot of black women paved the way for her to get slid in. If they slid her in, I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure she on our side before we just put her on a parade and make her the next coming of Obama. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to make sure.
But I mean, she is highly educated. She graduated from Harvard, so she's qualified. She's definitely qualified for the position.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I don't care about the qualification. I care about is you for us. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if you're, because it's a lot of great judges that are not for us. Like, they could do the job, but they don't have the empathy for us when we walk in. Like Chris said, we walk in the courtroom, they don't have empathy for us because they don't understand the culture. I'm saying, by her skin color, you're expecting her to understand that. And I think that's dangerous because
Damn.
Mario.
What, you said she's
listen, do you think with all that Joe Biden has done, do you really think Joe Biden will give us something impactful?
Sorry about that.
You really think Joe Biden will give us something impactful?
I think that this is what I don't know how this could be a bad
Joe Biden.
I just don't know how this is gonna be a bad thing, man. Like, I think that having that type of representation there has to make a difference. I don't see how this could be bad. We've been all these other Supreme Court justices been been white. So you can't think culturally. You don't think a certain way. Yeah, we can break it down to liberal and conservative, but at some point you think about your own. Self-preservation is just human. So I can't believe that this is a bad thing. I don't know where it could be bad at. I mean, okay. Obviously I know that it could be, but I just don't see it. I don't see it.
But I mean, I look at it like this. I think Joe Biden he's trying to do really well by African Americans by putting people in places that no other president have done it. Now I'm talking about in this aspect. I'm not talking about all the other stuff because I got my about him too. So no, I'm talking about just no other, even Obama, first biracial president, he didn't put black people in places like, Joe was at least trying, with the vice president, with Kamala, with, this justice, he's trying to insert African Americans in spots. His administration just, he's trying. Give him credit for trying.
You said people.
I got a red hat now.
What about us? Because when you say people, you didn't name us. When you say black people, there's a black man and a black woman. So what exactly did he do for that black man exactly?
Well, I mean, he has don't he have somebody that's his director or something that's black man?
I would have to look it up.
Man, listen, let me have some fun with the ladies because you guys are I'm about to go get my MAGA hat at this point. Women, y'all are two beautiful, educated, attractive women living in the Lone Star State, or the Gunshine State, Lynching State. I don't know what Texas is. What do y'all think about simps? Do y'all think it's real? Could you date a simp? You know the definition of a simp?
Define simp.
Yeah,
Who gonna give me the definition of simp, Chris?
Well, look, as the definition has changed and throughout time. I can tell you my personal definition. It's one that pedestalizes women as far as putting their interests over his. It's one that always, if he's always on a woman's side, and one that will go against men for female what's it called? Validation.
Say you out for some coochie.
Yeah, so that's how I do it. But again, it's been one of those words that's been misused and thrown around. So, but for me, that's what I got it. There's an acronym for it, but I don't think it's the right time or the place for the acronym.
So if he defends his woman, he's a simp, basically.
See, this is what happens a lot. This is what happens a lot.
This
I
is what
say
I
something,
know about a
and
simp.
then a woman tells me something I said that I just didn't
Well,
say.
that's my interpretation from what you said. That's what it
No, I
sounds like.
never said
And
his woman. I said
He's submissive.
women.
Are you meaning he's overly submissive and he's overly attentive?
he's a
I'm
wimp.
saying
Oh,
he does everything for female validation against
Okay.
men.
brownie points. So if all of us were having a discussion and everything, no matter what was said, I'd be like, you know how men are. And I'm trying to get at Tamika. So I'm just gonna say I want to throw Chris under the bus in hopes of getting some of those brownies from Tamika. And no matter what, I'm just like men are atrocious. I'm a man, but I'm like, guys, like the what's the little pretty I do? Listen, oh yeah, you know how men are, ladies. You shouldn't have to deal with this. Guys should, like, nigga, what? Simp. That's a simp. The dude that's gonna say anything to try to get something from you. He has an agenda. Is that a good
Look,
definition?
anytime they ask you for a
Mm.
definition that don't want a definition, they're trying to pick apart your shit and try to and try to argue. I don't know why I just fell for that trick, but
We dealing with
whenever a
Dr.
woman
Quinn.
say define it, they don't. The last thing they're looking for is a definition.
Y'all all got some simps that you just
I think it just all depends. Just
Uh,
depends on the situation, depends on the
No,
person.
and I don't like simps. I mean, from what I understand about that person and the characteristics and the submissiveness, I want a strong man. I need one because I'm a strong woman. I have a strong personality. And no, I don't like that. And that type of person is easy to pick up on. And I simply am not interested in a person with those characteristics.
But sometimes you can bump heads when you have some. If you're a strong personality already, and you have somebody with a strong personality, somebody has to yield. So what is gonna be?
you gotta ask me because they
Super
gonna give me.
Mario. You missed out. We had a conversation about simps. Were you in? Did you hear that? Mario, are you here?
Say it again.
We had
My internet is
on a
going.
conversation about simps, and I was asking the women, what do women think about simps, and would they even have dealings with a simp? They asked for a definition. We fell for it. They're doctors, and they found a way to really circumvent what we was asking.
Well, I would want to know then, especially I'm gonna ask this to Dr. Givens, 'cause I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of people and some simps come through your office. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know like what's the process of thinking behind it? Because as you get older, you have to understand like that's hating to a lesser degree. You know what I'm saying, for the benefit of getting a woman. So like, what's the process of a person like that? Like, why do they? I never understood like why would you do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of like really doing it? Because it don't seem to work.
It's manipulative.
Well, it all depends on your background. Everyone comes from something. And so when you're merging with someone in a relationship, you're bringing your upbringing and you're bringing their upbringing to the table. So a lot of times it comes from how you were raised, what you were privy to in your environment. So sometimes you have men that have been raised in environments with all women and they've heard a lot of different things, which kind of started them to think it's more like a self-hating situation, especially if you have men who been raised by women who have been extremely hurt by several men in their life, and so that's projected onto that son. So then you have him bringing out these qualities in his relationship to appease this woman that he's with. I mean, that's psychological. It's a lot of stuff that can entail why this happened and why people do some of the things that they do, and they're in some of the relationships that they're in.
I just wanted to know, you know what I'm saying? Because growing up when I did, it seemed like that was the wrong thing to do, but it seemed like it's at all time high now. It seemed like it's
Well,
at all.
nobody wants to be alone, so some people do whatever they need to do to appease their partner.
Well, nobody wants to be alone. How somehow a lot of people are alone.
That's true. You're right.
You know, a lot
I
of people are
dated a
single.
simp just by listening at Dr. April talk about it, and I dated a guy who grew up around all women. He did not have any male friends. He hated on all the men. male cousins. It is so crazy that this is, and it's so ironic that we're having this conversation. And he had those same characteristics, and so but he would come from this perspective. He would say things to me like, no, I know what you're doing because my sisters did it, or my mom did it, or my aunts did it, so he had this whole. So when you talked about Dr. April, the upbringing, it is so, oh my God, it's so significant because he had all of those characteristics. Grew up around nothing but females and hated on every man you could think of. Like, it could be a cousin, it could be a relative. He did not like them. It was just always self-serving, like one of you said. I think it was Chris. But anyway, yeah. So interesting. Very interesting.
And it's a lot of people that are together that both had crappy upbringings. They talk about how both their environments sucked. Both of their parents were, crazy for a better word. And now they've merged together and they wonder why they just can't get along with each other. They're constantly having arguments. They're constantly having fights. They're bringing the two environments together and trying to make it work.
So how do you guys have simp radar, or do you care? Like, how do you detect simp behavior?
Yeah, we do. It just depends on the woman. Depends on the woman and what she wants at that point in time in her life.
Please stop giving me these vague things. Give me a direct point of view. I don't care about what it depends on and what it could be. Direct, please.
Okay, what's the question?
Do you have simp radar? When you see, how do you detect it, and what do you do? What do you see? What you smell on them? How do you detect simp behavior?
We do.
I want to tell it.
We do. We have the radar. And so a lot of times, for women, I guess, such as myself, I guess I can only speak for me. So when it comes to someone that I consider myself to be a strong woman, it's a turnoff. It's annoying. It becomes an annoyance to be with someone like this.
What is that thing? What are they saying? What are they doing that make you say, that's it?
I mean, sometimes it's just a constant, I don't know, just a constant talking about, other men, or talking about the situation, or talking about, just the things that they can do for you and how they're like the woman whisperer, know everything about women because of, like I said, the upbringing, could be around a lot of women and all these different things. So it's just that, a whole bunch of sisters, different situations, how they come, just come at you. I'm trying to just be on edge here and not really say, trying to be politically correct.
Okay, I got a question. We want to bring y'all on this week for Instagram live because you keep saying something. I've been wanting to ask for a while. When women say, I'm a strong woman, a lot of women say that. And everybody, it's such a trendy definition. So I want to explore that at some point. But tonight, we're going to stay on script with y'all. Do women find men... Do we find less attractive men more attractive? I think Edu went out for me last week about this, Chris.
Lloyd Mayweather has returned. Lloyd and Fantasia reading.
Who you have? Read the prompter.
I can read, man. Wait a minute. I'm trying to keep it together. Do women find less attractive men more attractive nowadays? Dr. Tamika Manning, you're not going to hide tonight. Come on. Yeah, give it to me.
Well, define unattractive.
That's exactly what I mean. What do you mean? Because
right.
I think we talked about this before, that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, did we not? Yeah. So what do you mean by less? Are you saying just an all flat out ugly dude? I mean, what do you mean by that? Because there are certain things that women find attractive. You may not be what society deems as attractive, but you may have a caring nature. You may be the man. You may be exciting. You may be fun.
We're talking about looks.
I'm ready for you.
I'm sorry. I read an article. Somebody had said this to us, and it said that women are finding looks. We're not talking about like how they treat you. We're just talking about looks, like men who are less attractive to the eyes, who are like, that stereotypical, he fine, are getting less play than regular out of shape, like kind of guys who don't work. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are getting more love nowadays than in the past. That's what it was saying. But and they had a scale up, a graph up of from the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s. Like it was saying, like it's been going down. Like women starting to say it's okay, bro. I want me a. They were saying about self esteem and about how women scared to be alone, so they choosing uglier men. I just want to know from two women who are nice looking and have can take care of themselves. Is this true in the women population?
I can agree with that. I mean, from a psychological standpoint, a lot of women feel like their clock is ticking. You know, they are getting older. They haven't ever been married. Some of them want kids and haven't been able to have kids, and they're still like 40 and still no kids and still want to have kids. So they feel like the clock is ticking. So a lot of women are now settling. The word settling comes up for less than what they feel like they deserve. Now, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, they would have these standards and these qualities of what they want. But as time keeps progressing forward, they feel like, hey, I'm running out of time. Time is an illusion. I tell my clients that all the time. There's no such thing as far as you're running out of time. There's no biological clock. Things happen when it's supposed to happen. But some people still have it in their head that I have to do this by a certain age. I need this, I need that. So they are settling. Me personally, like all the other ladies in the comments, it's a no for me. But for some, it's like, hey, you know, he don't have to look that good. He can be out of shape. I just want somebody. I want some kids. So let me go ahead and be with him.
Dr. Man, did you answer?
It's hard to answer. Gabrielle Streeter, I kind of agree with her. I mean, it's just different things. Now, I have never been into the, quote unquote, the Billy D, or, somebody like that walks in the room and then everybody wants him. I've never been into that type of guy, but I do have to be attracted to you. There has to be an attraction of physical. I have to have some sort of physical attraction, or I'm just going to not even want you to touch me.
Right.
Let me just keep it real. So I don't know how to say that, but I mean, and the same applies to you guys as well. You don't want, just because the lights are out, you still want somebody that you're attracted to that can float your boat. I play some of the old reels, and Super Mario said she's going to be to me.
I totally
Mario different.
Totally. I'm never shying away. I'm not even bending the corner on it. I'm telling you. See, I'm never gonna act like it. Call me what you want. I'm being truthful to you. If I don't think you look good, I'm not dealing with you. I'm talking about. That's why I said everybody trying to pinpoint what's ugly. I'm saying you. I'm saying if you like the 6, and then you saying fuck it, I'll take a 3. If you like the 10, and you saying fuck it, I'll take a 7. That's what I'm saying. That's what it was saying. It ain't saying that Dr. Chris gotta like the girl I'm liking. I'm saying I have to be my God to me. And then if I don't like that, then I'm straight. I don't care how good of a mom you are. I don't care how many churches you attend. I don't care. Oh, that's good. But if I got to roll up like God, it's just not gonna happen. And I just feel like a lot more women feel that way. But that's the taboo thing to say. So they gonna say, well, if he got a kind heart. And he's just the kind of man. They gonna say all that fluff.
No. I got burned before like that.
Used by a dude who don't have no car, work out, slinging and banging her back out. Something ain't right. Cause I got homeboys who don't have nothing, who numbers are crazy, and I got homeboys who got everything on paper in desert. Something ain't right out
here.
Yeah, it's the eye candy. You have to have some type of eye candy.
Well, let me ask you something. So Dr. Tamiko goes to the gym a lot. She's known for the good thirst traps, right? So she meets a guy who has a 9 to 5. He ain't in the gym that much because he works crazy. He might have a little bit of a dad bod. So that was a scenario I was thinking. Now he's getting with you. He's going to try to contour to try to get in shape because he see how much it means to you. But he's not typically what you date. But he's that person when you come home, he's going to take your gym socks and throw them in the washer. He's going to rub your feet. He might cook your salad or whatever, however you do it. That was the scenario. Oh,
I
what?
knew that was coming.
or toss it. Like you know how like Caesar salad and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
I'm
bet.
not buying
Yeah,
it.
you know how you got to get the ingredients to mix together.
I'm not saying that he has to be in the gym either. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He doesn't have to be this fine or whatever, but he just has to be an average person that I feel attracted to. There's something about him that I am attracted to, whether it's the conversation. But again, a troll, no, because I'm not
Man.
going to want the troll to touch me.
Right.
I'm just being as politically correct as I possibly can. I'm not saying that I'm all of that by any means, but I am saying that somebody out there is probably attracted to me, and there's somebody out there that I can be attracted to, but it's just not a person. Like I just can't say, oh, I'm getting up in age, and I'll just take that.
Right.
No, because I'm going to be doing him a disservice as well as myself, and so I'm good.
But even all the stuff that you mentioned, some women don't want all that. That, okay, he's going to take my socks off and massage my feet and all that stuff. What if I don't like to be touched like that?
If you
That's
don't want
trauma.
to be-
That sounds like some therapy. You in the right business.
But no, it's a
People
lot
want
of
to switch
women
up.
that do not like to be touched like that. Like,
And
trust
it's
me, I
crazy.
counseled a bunch. It's a lot of them that just don't, they're not that affectionate and they don't want to be bothered. I have a friend that was the same way when it comes to like text me. I love a guy to text me throughout the day and see how I'm doing and stuff like that. She was like, girl, that annoys me. She said, no. She said, he can call me one time and that's it. All that texting and stuff. She said, no, I will block him.
Yeah,
Interesting
So
you
it
say
just
that.
depends on the person.
We had somebody in the comments who was talking about how they got to text her every 30 minutes on the hour, just like, and that sounds
no,
insane.
that's no.
And Vanessa, no, mind your business. So,
Spontaneity is being spontaneous is what is exciting for a lot of women. Like on a whim, just all of a sudden you sent flowers or something, and they don't have to be a dozen roses. It could be just something cute, or just all of a sudden, hey, let's go out of town this weekend. And it doesn't have you don't have to bug me all day because my day is busy. That is annoying when you have a busy day and you do have a busy schedule and this person is constantly texting you. For example, I'll give you an example. After my divorce, I dated a guy and I could barely work throughout the day. Like, where are we going to go eat, this evening, or where are we going to go eat on Friday? And, and it was just throughout the day. And I was just like, I cannot. Like every few minutes, I'm in meetings, I'm observing teachers, and I'm doing all of this. Women, typically busy women, I know for sure, do not like that at all.
I would say it depends on the man. Now, if I'm into you, hey, you can bug me all day. I can be in meetings. I'll just respond to you after I finish with my meeting. You must have wasn't that really into him for you to get annoyed with him doing it.
I was interested until because it was an overkill. Like I could barely, like it was nonstop. And so it was just it seemed too desperate for me. It seemed too desperate. I mean, and I was really into him, but then I was beginning to see like, dang, if you continue to go, like how, is this going to change or is it going to get worse? And so I just kind of backed up.
Did you just tell him to chill?
Like, why are you answering the phone? Like, you don't have to answer the phone.
Did you tell him to chill?
No, I never answered the phone. I didn't. What did you say, Mario?
Did you tell him? Did you communicate that? Because that could have been changed. Like he could have been taught that from his last relationships that all the other women prior to you might have been saying, "Oh, you don't contact me enough." So he was like, "I ain't gonna lose this one. I'm gonna do it every 40 minutes." And then if you had just said, "Hey, stop."
I mean, I would just say, hey, I'm in meetings and I'm busy, and I would give him the time frame. Like, I'm heading out to do this. I'm going to be out for 2 hours. But when I come back to my office, I still have 4 or 5 text messages. So
it was crazy.
Let me be the asshole. Either he liked you that much and he really, really wanted to smash, or he smashed and he is addicted.
Or you might have been his unicorn. Like, see, when a dude meet the finest woman he ever met in his life, he always act crazy.
Yeah.
Like some men, I don't like to say ranges, but when you meet that woman, you're like, I can't believe I got her.
Right.
Then your regular game, you don't think it worked. So now you trying all kind of weird shit to keep her because now you in uncharted territory. You like, I don't know. And I'm telling you, when a dude is not used to dealing with women of a certain caliber and they meet them, they get out of their comfort zone because you don't know what to do. Yeah. And they kind of like, that's probably not even him, but you might have been his unicorn. Like, oh, I got one, boy. He calling home and he just doing all this stupid shit that he normally probably don't do. And that happens a lot to guys. Like I always tell dudes that, you know what I'm saying? When you get that, all of us have done it. It's just what magnitude. We've done it. It was like, damn, if you did start dealing with women of that caliber, then you start seeing, you know what? It's the same. Women are women, just chill. But you know, when you normally date 4s and you step up into that 8, you like, oh boy, there's no way I'm letting this go.
I've arrived. I have arrived, damn it.
For real, you'll fuck you up now.
Listen, Baloo, no. Hey, Chris, somebody said, why you making that face? You the date doctor. You international Chris.
Please as the representative of the average looks dad bod club for men, I say I don't do bad for myself. And again, I think that study may be somewhat true because you either a buyer or a seller. So it's one thing to be attracted to something, but at the same time, if that's not coming up to you, you have no choice but to accept. As a seller, you have no choice but to accept the buyers that comes up to you. And a lot of times women need to understand that, like the caliber of guy that hollers at you can somewhat tell you what level you're on. You know what I'm saying? So you need to pay attention to that. So I think that study could be true because at the end of the day, if less attractive guys is hollering at you, and I mean I'm talking strictly looks, if less attractive guys is hollering at you, then you have no choice. You have no choice but to be attracted to less attractive guys because highly attractive guys is not attracted to you. They're not coming up to you. They're not hollering at you. And if they do, they already letting you know off rip what it is. Let's get busy. So, you know, honestly, as the average looking guy on this cast, we ain't doing too bad. Especially us with the dad bods, we not doing too bad. We over here.
And I think that too. I think that I say this to my wife all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think that I did a lot. I did too much to show off for you. Like, I feel like I could have did. I ain't have to eat them salads because right now, a lot of time right now, it seems like all that hard work I did get overlooked, man. I be seeing guys out here who ain't seen the gym in 4 years, and they like, yeah, I'm packing them in, brother. And I'm like, son of a gun. I heard I was just out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm just joking, but a lot of time I see that don't matter now, you know what I'm saying? And maybe it's for other reasons, but I'm just saying when I seen that, I wanted to wait till y'all came on to ask y'all about that.
It's definitely good out here. It's definitely a good market.
I'm just saying, you're talking to the dad bod God, but I think a lot of it. I mean, I'm not like long dong silver, but I'm good there too. So I got something to do with this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but what if you handsome and have a dad bod? The attraction is still there. You don't have to be buff and go to the gym in order to be attractive. That's a myth. You can be handsome and be 200 pounds, but you handsome. And so it's like the attraction is there.
Mm-hmm. You put that shit on. You gotta put it on.
You put that shit on.
You gotta walk like it, talk like it. For real, I tell you that. You know, but I just want to hear.
What I made to answer Vanessa's question, I made the face because some of us get that too. Like we have the bugaboo texting chicks that text all day, and I'm never gonna be like. I'm never going to hold that against the woman because that's showing me that she's attracted to me, like, and she's interested. A lot, like even with that whole saying about the "what you doing" text, I tell men don't listen to that shit. It's nothing wrong with texting a woman not wanting anything and then not wanting having to give her something. Sometimes text "what you doing" text is simply you on my mind, and I don't know. I don't have nothing particular to ask you. I don't have nothing particular to give you. I don't have nothing particular planned. I just want to let you know that you are on my mind. You are affecting me in my day, and I would like to let you know. So I don't look down on women that does that. All I simply do is ignore the text, and when I get time, I talk back to the woman. Like at the end of the day, the phone is not. This is not a leash. This is just a way to contact me, but it's not. I don't have to respond to these texts. And once you set a trend with a person, yeah, they're gonna get upset first. They're gonna be like, why are you not responding? But once you set a trend of this is not what I do. You can't text me and I just respond like that. I got shit to do, and it is what it is. But I don't look down on them because they do it, because I think that's just overly. They just really attentive, or they really trying to they showing me that they really like me. Again, you don't have to answer that phone. So to get rid of a person like that, to replace them with a person that doesn't really do that, I don't know what good is that.
Well, let me give a word of advice. Stop texting women asking them what you're doing, especially professional.
Don't listen, man. Don't listen to that.
Don't do that. Don't do that, because it annoys us. Because you text me what I'm doing. I'm working.
I'm thinking about you. I'm sorry for thinking about you.
Don't text me what you're doing.
My bad.
Text
I'm sorry for thinking about you.
How are you doing? How's your day today?
What you
How about that instead? Don't text me what I'm doing, because my answer gonna always be fly. I'm working. What do you want?
I gotta agree with Chris.
You won't get another text.
How you doing? It ain't a lot of avenues to go. It's a bland conversation.
How are you doing? How's your day today? Just thinking about you.
It's friend zone type. That's like,
really?
Yeah. I'm with Chris on that one.
It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with letting a woman know you were on my mind. And if it's what you doing, if she can't understand it, I'm simply letting you know. I'm simply saying, yeah, I thought about you just now. I don't have nothing I want to say.
Well, why not just say that? Hey, I'm just texting. I'm just thinking about you. Why not just say that?
What you doing? I just did. That's exactly what I did. I didn't cuss you out. I didn't call you a name.
That's a trigger for most women. Hey, I'm just giving you friendly advice. That's
WYD.
What you doing? No, be a little bit more thoughtful. How about, hey, I'm just thinking about you.
Fellas, I just came from Costa Rica. Stop listening to these women. We getting cheaped. We getting tricked out here. Fellas, if a woman don't want you to text her what you doing, don't text her nothing. Stop letting women treat you like that. I just came from a place where these women they holler at you. They come over there talking to you. They come over there and asking you what you doing tonight. They're approaching you. Fellas, we getting cheated here. If she's complaining about what you doing.
So is it a such thing as a female simp? Because that's what that seems like to me.
Yes, wife.
They just want some. That's all. That's what it is. They going out there. They
started Mandingo, the big black man coming over from the States, and they want to come to the States, and they say, "Here's my ticket." So
so I'm gonna give you what it is. Here you go.
Well, so what happened?
Are wolves.
I told you that you were gonna get a chance of feeling like what it is to be a black woman. Cause see how over there, how you just walk through there and then people just hounding you. What? They just throwing all these compliments to you all the time. They just saying shit they're not gonna be able to give you just to get your attention. They promising you the world. That's how it is. That's what dudes do to black women all the time. Now you see how it is. It felt great, didn't it?
Oh man, it was
great for the world. It felt great.
Loved it.
I'm talking about dog. It was amazing.
He is straight glowing and he is blushing.
I'm gonna play something for you. One second. I'm gonna play something for you.
Oh god.
Hold on, I gotta turn it up. My bad. Hold on. I gotta turn this up.
Viewer discretion advised.
Yes.
Thank you, Mario.
What did you plan for tonight? Let's go party. Good party. Good massage, good blow, the check.
Yes, mommy. Yes. I appreciate that, mommy.
Hey, for the record, did I not tell you that's a trip you did? You had to go.
Oh man, no, everybody told me this. But then I had to see it for myself. Dog, I'm sitting in the club. I'm just sitting. I ain't got drinks. I ain't got nothing. Dog, they coming to me, chocolate. I'm like,
who me?
Who me? I'm talking about. I've never felt that way. I've never seen this shit.
I love it.
I represent the average guy.
My homeboy wants to move to Costa Rica. He said he's going to retire over there.
Absolutely. Y'all want to go to the white men, and we going to Costa Rica.
The white men?
I'm have me a little Diablo.
I'm surprised she didn't try to come back in your luggage, Chris.
For real. She wanted
Listen.
that. She wanted that money, really. But
A female
It don't
simp.
matter. They all want the money.
I still like the pumping up my ego though. I like
Hey man, you was there, ladies. Before we close out, since what you doing ain't getting it, and I heard women post that, and a lot of women who getting at what you doing ain't getting what you're doing. Text, they ain't getting nothing. That's why they want people to text them. What is a text that a man can send you that's gonna get you out your seat or make you say, you know what? All right, let me move him off the bench into the starting five.
I just told you. Hey, babe, I was just thinking about you today.
Babe.
Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, gorgeous.
You know, you ran through my mind just thinking about you, just thinking about maybe the plans for this weekend. What do you want to do? Like taking the initiative.
That
Hope you're
sounds like
having a great day today. Call me when you get off work.
That only works for the dude that you actually like.
I'm just checking in. I know you busy, babe, but I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you, beautiful.
What you doing?
They already.
Oh, this shit be too easy. I told you, it's like playing football. They say, here go the schedule for the other team. This is what they're exactly going to do. And then you be like, nah, I ain't doing that. Right, do it. Just listen. Like,
I'm done. I don't agree.
That's what works then. If that's what works, next thing you know, you're going to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, they give you the game plan.
Right.
I listened over the years to women say this stuff. I'm like, so you say text what now?
Listen.
Okay. And then say what now? Okay. And then after that, say no more.
No, Mario. If I'm a good looking dude and I say, hey, doctor, hey, what's up, Dr. I see Dr. Gibb, I say, hey, what's up, gorgeous? She's gonna be smiling, she's gonna show every teeth she got. If I look like Gary Coleman, she gonna be like, nigga, really? It's harassment from an ugly dude, so it's a little different. So if y'all like the dude,
either way, I'm still gonna smile and say thank you for the compliment, whether he look good or not. I'm not that type of person.
That's on you. That's on you, Dr. Gibbons. I teach a class about that for the guys who work for me to tell them, don't you do such a thing. Because if that lady come in my office, I'm suspending your ass for 5 days. So you better make sure that she think you attractive. And I agree with Horace. You better make sure, because the guy up the street, the guy who...
Dang it, Mario.
I wanted him to finish that.
The guy at the corner can say, hey, Dr. Gibbons, your hair look nice today. And she going about her business. The guy who opened the door in the warehouse could say, Dr. Gibbons, y'all like your hair. Don't you say nothing about my hair. And if she walk in my office, he's suspended. That's just how quick it is. Like, so understand, fellas, it's a thin line between
compliment and sexual harassment.
Boy, every month I have a little, hey, come to the conference room, let y'all know. Because I just said what he said. Well, he just said what he said. 3 days, sucker.
Listen, I got a partner who just got out of prison after 20 years. He's hot. He's out here, boy. He's loving it, right? He's been doing up a benching weights, right? And guess what? Right now, he probably read with his finger over the word. And he is getting dates left and right. He has nothing to offer a chick. But the fact that he looks like Mario in a 6'4" frame, he will have a home in no time.
I'm saying, and she ain't saying nothing about that. What you doing, Tex?
I
was thinking about you.
And he spelled what you doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
D-U or yeah. No, she like, ooh, he's so crazy.
I love the way he texts. He's just so unintelligent.
He being artistic. Look at the way he spelled it.
Hey, that's another show. That's for another show. We're gonna talk about those type of women who date those type of men.
Let's do it. Y'all come on our platform and let's do it.
What do you mean come on our platform? You need an invitation for that, don't you?
Ooh.
I'm inviting you right
now. You? I've known you for over a year now. Never got invited. What you doing?
Y'all are always invited to our platform. Always.
Formal.
All right. Closing comments. We're going to let the ladies go first. I'm going to go to Dr. Manning.
All right. So I just want to say, overall, I guess what stood out to me the most is the fact that the simp is not where we want to go. So as a Black woman, I consider myself to have somewhat of a strong personality. That person to me is a no go, and I'll just say that. That those are my closing remarks. The simp is out.
All right, Dr. Gibbons.
Well, I'm gonna close with the affirmation. So I want everybody to repeat after me. I will not
I will
I
I
not
will
would
not
not
settle for less than I deserve.
I will not
settle
settle
for
for
less
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 than
than
I
I
deserve.
deserve. Amen. I receive that.
I said Don Bishop Warren said the same thing yesterday. Super Mario Senior.
Hey, I want to appreciate everybody. I want to say thank you, and that I appreciate everybody who came out, took your time out. Apologize for my internet tonight. I don't know what's going on. I had to make sure we paid the bill. Um, and say thank you. It's always a good time when the ladies come on. It's the end of tax season, so our other member is a tax professional, and he was a little swamped, so that's why he couldn't make it tonight. But we held it down in his. But he wanted to be here, but he just couldn't because it's the end of that tax season. Everybody want their coins, and I didn't want him to be picketed or held on a cross as Easter had just passed. So we want to say, Zay, keep hope alive and keep doing them taxes. But we don't want to see your ass taxed. Thank you for watching the Black Super Friends podcast, and come back next Monday and tell everybody who work with to come with you. Thank you.
International Chris.
Yeah, man. I want to give a shout out to my brother that's out there handling business, putting in overtime because that's what men do, man. Shout out to Zay and Infinity Tax. Man, and speaking of Zay, he's one of the influences of this whole new travel push that I have got going on, and I like to encourage my other fellows out there, go to these other places and see how women treat you. And then when you come back, you have a whole different perspective. You are worthy. You are worthy of good treatment. You are worthy of what you do in Texas. You are worthy of good morning beautifuls. Probably not good morning beautiful, but you are worthy of a lot of those things, man. And do not sell yourself short. This is not an attack on women, but you deserve more and you should expect more. And when you travel to certain places, they let you know that you are special. So continue to boss up, and this is a message from the day, Doctor. I hope this helps.
All right, I want to piggyback off what Chris just said. Listen, in the dating world where a lot of ladies are turning vegan, fellas, I want to tell you something. Take your meat on the road. Take it somewhere where they're gonna treat it like steak. Thank you for joining the Black Super Friends podcast.